Round one of the Longines Global Champions Tour Grand Prix of Madrid is officially done and dusted. We prepare for round two, we prepare for the jump off, and it has been a remarkably interesting first round. Some massive names in the world of show jumping failing to qualify, and that said, one or two surprises making it onto that list. I will show you exactly those surprises. One might argue that all of a sudden Christian Kuckuck and Cepano, who we spoke about at the start of the show, was not seen as a real threat. He talked about a young horse, he talked about giving it some experience, and now all of a sudden Christian Kuckuck is on that list to try and repeat what he did in 2024, which is to win here in Madrid. Peter de Vos, good to see him back in a jump-off. Joli Mitlineo, fantastic Global Champions League, and now looking good again in the Longines Global Champions Tour. Cian O'Connor, Hans-Dieter Dreyer, who won the GCL, by the way, with Valkenswaard United, Ken Farrington, the world #1, and rounded out by Marco Kutscher on Aventador S. Those riders are in today's jump-off, and they will be competing in a few moments' time for today's big prize. The fans here have been treated to a wonderful spectacle, and it's only going to get better. That energy is only going to pick up as we make our way closer and closer to the end point of tonight. Let's start talking about some of those riders. Let's hear from some of those riders. I told you about Christian Kuckuck. We caught up with the German after that wonderful opening clear in round one.
Christian, you made the decision today to not bring Checker in, but to give a bit of a chance to Capano, and wow, did he show off what he can do.
Yeah, I mean, I said that already in the beginning. It wasn't a decision against Checker and for Cepano. It was a decision for Checker and for Cepano. Now I can for sure luckily say it was the right decision, but it's easy to say after. But anyway, I had the feeling that we were ready for a Grand Prix now. We were stepping up now for a few months, and I jumped him yesterday. He felt very, very good. So I thought it would be the right day for today. And yeah, now I can say it was the right one. I'm very happy with him, honestly. You know, I always get to know him actually in every single round I jump him. Also today, there's still things I have to figure out how he is reacting in some situations. But I think overall we did pretty well today.
What are those things that you need to figure out that you thought of today?
Well, in the end, how much pressure I have to give him and how much I have to actually keep him calm. You know, something in between. He's quite of an exciting horse in the ring. And I have to find the key in between to not overpace him, but to still have him on enough, I would say, in our language. And I would say today that was pretty good. Yeah. There was maybe just the line with the open water to the vertical, where he actually reacted better to me than I expected, and I ended up with a little bit of room, and he was a little bit confused for a second, but he handled it very well. And I must say all the rest for such a technical course worked very good today already.
I was actually going to mention number 6 from the water because he was so clever with his front legs. I don't know if he had a chance to look back on it, but in a split second he got his legs out of trouble there.
Yeah, you know, it actually didn't feel probably as bad as it looked. I don't know, because I didn't see it so far. But he's a very smart horse, and he always tries really his best to figure out every kind of situation. And he figured it out very quickly. I'm happy he saved me there a little bit, or he saved us actually there a little bit. And yeah, now I'm looking forward for the jump off. Like I said, I don't know him really. He's a very, very fast horse if you want, but I have to find still the key in between to not overpace him now from the beginning, because I think both of us have to get used to each other. So I will see what I can do, and then we see where we end up.
Good luck.
Thank you.
Only 7 in the jump-off, and Christian Kuckuck will be the second last to go on Cepano. Only Aventador and Marco Kutscher will go after him. So a wonderful start position for the 2024 Madrid champion. He is all of a sudden looking at a potential double back-to-back here in Madrid. Joli Mitlineo, we spoke about the form in the Global Champions League, and now with La Artiste, she returns and once again jumps superbly to get into that jump-off. Let's hear from Mitlineo after her clear.
Peter, she may be young, but she showed true professionalism in there today. That was sensational to watch.
Yeah, I'm very happy, of course, with her. Casual jumped one more time, an amazing round, and just different sport with a horse like that. It's such a good feeling when you're riding, and yeah, it's where we do it for.
The open water we don't see that often. She seemed to have a tiny look at it, but then cleared it so beautifully.
Oh, actually, to be honest, she doesn't watch the water. She's really very confident on that. Of course, she didn't jump it so many times yet in her career, but she jumped it always very easy, and it was not for me my biggest problem. I think the last line is a very complicated line for everybody, so I needed to keep the pace a bit till the end, and it worked out. So she did what she could, and I tried what I could, and we are clear. So hopefully.
Just give us a sense of the feeling that she gives you in an arena like that.
I mean, like, when you don't do a mistake as a rider, you know you're clear, and that's an unbelievable feeling on a horse when you have that. It's not so often that you have a horse like that. So yeah, I'm very, very happy with her, of course.
Good luck with the jump off.
Thank you very much.
The thoughts of Peter de Vos and Casual making it into the jump off here this afternoon. Again, Peter de Vos will be quite late to go. He will be rider number 5 out of 7 into the ring, competing for today's LGCT Grand Prix win. Let's hear from Joli Miklineo, the young sensational rider who was in good form in the Global Champions League, now returns for the LGCT Grand Prix and delivers yet another clear. Let's hear from her.
Joli, it seems that you can do no wrong at the moment. That was sensational in there today.
He was really unbelievable. But yeah, I mean, we're not going to go as far as saying wrong, but, you know, of course, when you go around the course, there's a few things that you think, oh, I could have done that better, but he helped me out really, really well. And when I warmed him up, I thought, he's a touch quiet. You know, I wasn't 100% sure, but, you know, when he goes in there with the crowd, he lights up, and then I just stay as relaxed as I do out here, and because he's lit up, it actually works quite well. And yeah, he gave me a really good feeling already over the first jump, second jump, and then when he does that, I think, okay, now we've got a chance. So yeah, I have to say, I think he only jumped one fence out there, and yeah, jumped everything like metre over.
How much confidence do you think he gives you, but equally probably you give him?
Yeah, he gives me a lot of confidence. I can't speak for him, obviously, but I can speak for myself. And yeah, he gives huge confidence to me. He's got so much scope that if you know that even if you get into trouble, he's going and he's going to keep going. And I think that's an amazing partner to have, is the trust that whatever happens, you're getting to the other side of the jump. And thankfully today he got over the other side and clear.
Particularly, like you said, you're going to have confidence in that partnership, particularly when we go into the jump off, which you've now got into. It's a tough course. I don't know how many we'll see in the jump off, but have you managed to have a walk of it or a look at it?
Yeah, I actually did, which normally I don't. Yeah, I did have a look, I thought, just in case. But yeah, it seems quite okay. He's naturally probably not the quickest horse, nor am I the quickest rider. I am trying, so we're going to give it a go. And you know, when you do try is when the mistakes happen. So that's the thing. If you're not chipping, you're not trying. So hopefully we don't chip, but we're going to try.
Well done, and good luck for the next bit.
Thank you very much.
The thoughts of Joli Miklineo after qualifying for today's jump off. She says, well, I'm not the quickest horse rider, and I don't have the quickest horse. How much is that going to hurt her in that jump off? We'll find out a little bit later on tonight. Joined by Carlos Sancorero in the studio, who was involved in today's Longines Global Champions Tour Grand Prix. Carlos, welcome to Madrid. How's it been? Welcome to Madrid.
Thank you so much.
Not the result you were looking for, but tell me, how's your time been here? How was it today?
Yeah, definitely not the result I wanted. I had very high hopes for today. My horse has been in amazing form all week, but honestly, it's an amazing show out here. The crowd has been super all week. We've had really good weather. Course designing has been absolutely incredible as well, so really no complaints.
How did you feel that this track suited H5 Shack Attack?
Honestly, since I walked it, I felt like it was a very good track for my horse, because there was a few opportunities to do some leave outs that maybe the other horses would maybe had to add or struggle a bit, and it rode exactly like I walked it. Made a mistake on number 2 myself, but my horse handled everything beautifully, and I really thought I had a chance today, but that's the sport.
It is the sport. Unfortunately, we're starting to learn this lesson more and more, just how small the margins are here. You talk about walking the course, you walk the jump off as well. Before we talk about who's in it, talk to me about what you walked in the jump off. What can these 7 riders expect?
Yeah, so my horse, I always do kind of a very unique plan, because he's a massive horse and he has a very, very big stride. So I can get to some leave outs that maybe most of the others cannot. But it starts off similar to the first round, 1-2. I walked 6 to that, it used to be the wall, now it's the Kaiser vertical. So I think most of the riders will get there on the 6. Then it's a rollback to the Longines. What was the triple in the first round is now B and C. Then you do a bending to the right to an oxer. I walked a very big 6 there. I'm not sure if they will get there. That was my plan for my big horse because he's not the fastest, so I had to do something special. So I think that most of them will do 7 there, then very tight around. And I was discussing with Kent, maybe 9 to the last fence if you really get a good shot. But I think that's it right there.
Is that big 6 maybe a 7, one of the areas where maybe a second or 2 can be shaved off if you can make it in 6?
I think for sure. I think you have to have a special horse because you're coming out of a double with an oxer, so you don't land very far. So the 6 will have to be a big mover to get there. And you don't want to get there very flat because then it's a roll back to the left. So you want to get there on the 6 without having to sacrifice too much.
Let's talk about who is there. Ken Farrington, you mentioned already, world #1, of course. People will be keeping a very close eye on him. Hans-Dieter Dreyer, Kian O'Connor, Joli Mittelneo, Peter de Vos, Christian Kuckuck and Marco Kutscher are the 7 riders in today's jump-off. Kent is the easy selection here based on form and performance. Is there anyone here that can take this away from Kent, or is this Kent's to lose?
I mean, it's anyone's game out there. Kent has a little bit of a disadvantage going first, but I've been with him in Florida, and he's been on amazing form. The mare is one of the quickest in the world and one of the best in the world, so it'll be hard to beat. Christian's been on amazing form as well, and his horse is very quick, so I think maybe him if I had to pick one to beat Kent.
All right, we have the cameras on. We're going to keep the mics on. The jump-off is officially getting underway. Ken Farrington, seemingly the favorite for many people, is the first man out. As Carlos says, perhaps the only disadvantage to Farrington is that starting point. He is the first man out the gate. Let's go join the first of our jump-off riders. This is Ken Farrington.
And here he goes, getting ready. The world #1, the Longines world #1 here in Madrid with his brilliant 11-year-old mare, Greya. Getting a warm hand from the crowd here, a steely look, a calm look. He's read this movie before. And Greya, she looks to just be taking it all in her stride at this moment. But this is not going to be easy. And so we get ready now for what should be a gripping Longines Global Champions Tour Grand Prix in wonderful Madrid. Jumping the first fence, getting into an early rhythm, and that's a quite tight turn to this second fence. Takes it well, now quickly to third, looking to take it on the angle so he can get a good run back to the double. Coming now to it, jumps the first, good over the second, now a sharp turn, now looking to really go to this fence. The big spread, she's had it, down Greya, groans all round, just accelerating into that and got it wrong, and now it's a question of damage limitation. But that has opened the door, something of a surprise, and actually 2 fences down is even more of a surprise from Greya. He charged into the fence that's being jumped for the first time, wasn't in the first round, and exhale from Kent.
Wow. It looked really quick in the first half, didn't it, Carlos? We weren't expecting the fences to follow. It felt really quick. How much of a surprise is that to see Kent not have 1 but 2 down? Yeah, of course. I think Kent going first, he wanted to really leave it all out on the line and make everyone catch him. I think he started off with a very, very swift turn back to #2. Would have been hard to beat. And I think I walked that line. I walked 6, but he did it in 7 and actually very flat. So I don't think they will get the 6. I think he was surprised also about how flat the 7 was, but he had to give it a try. Minus the errors, the time was quick at 34.91. Does that look like it's kind of on par with what we're expecting? How much do you think you can take out of that? I don't think there's much more than a second they would take out. The mare is very quick off the ground, so I'd say around a second max. Ken Farrington has 2 down. He comes home on 8 and 34.91. Hans-Dieter Dreyer, the new man in.
Competitive time, and he's turning reasonably short into that second. Now to the third. Again, looking to take it with an immediate turn back. Now to the double, pops the first putt, rolls it, gets away with it. Now to the second, coming now. This is the fence that undid Ken Farrington. Oh, but gets slightly checked into it. Now coming to this fence on the angle. Now we'll run to the final fence. Still clear. This is a reasonably competitive looking score. And he's clear. There were 1 or 2 scary moments in that jump off, but 36.12 is the time. He got away with it. A little bit of hairy moments, but the horse was clever. Hans-Dieter was clever.
So Hans-Dieter Dreyer leaves the fences up. He now technically leads on a time of 36.12, a lot slower than what Kent showed us. I think we realize there's a lot of meat still left on that bone, right, Hans-Dieter Dreyer?
Yeah, 100%. I think Hans had quite a smooth jump off, maybe didn't take all the risks, but he knows his horse, and maybe that's what he could do today. So I think he left the door open, but we'll see.
The risks that were taken by Kent, do you think it's possible to keep the fences up in that time?
I think it'll be tight, but I think a few of these riders are capable of doing something close to that.
All right, as it stands, provisional leader Hans-Dieter Dreyer clear on 36.12. Cian O'Connor, Bentley Ducerry is the next combination in. The third out of 7 riders in the jump off. Let's go watch Cian O'Connor.
So Cian O'Connor getting ready. So what can he do here? 36.12. Now he's off. You know he won't be inclined to hang around. That's quite a short term into the second. Jumps it well. Now coming to third. Attacks it on the turn straight away. Coming back now to the double. Looking ears pricked from Bentley. Now coming to the new fence. Into it. Yeah, oh no! Just like Ken Farrington, Cian has had it down. Hans-Dieter will stay in the lead. But the time is definitely quick. Oh, disappointing for Cian O'Connor. And a rueful look.
Fence going down for Cian O'Connor. It means that as it stands, Hans-Dieter Dreyer still leads on a clear of 36.12. Second time that's gone down now, Carlos. How tricky is that?
Yeah, I think, honestly, I walked it myself, and I thought the 7 would be a lot easier than it's riding. The horses are landing a little bit dead out of that combination, and I think it's getting quite a lot more flat than we all walked it. So
isn't the magic of this, though, that it can be the easy 7, but no one wants that easy 7. They feel like they are forced to take that 6 and take that risk.
Yeah, I think now people have seen how that line is riding, and I think the next riders will either do it like Hans and do the 8, or do the 7 a little bit earlier.
All right, as it stands, Yoli Miclineo is the next in the ring on La Artiste. She is the 4th out of the 7 riders. Ken Farrington out of the mix on 8. Cian O'Connor out of the mix on 4. And Hans-Dieter Dreyer and Elysium on a relatively slower 36.12 leads on the double clear. As it stands, Yoli Miclineo next in the ring. The time to beat, 36.12.
In her career on this Longines Global Champions Tour, in this Grand Prix. If you look down the list, I suppose she might be seen as the surprise package, but she's much respected. People realize what a talented rider she is. Can she give it a go? Will her approach be, do I really go for it, or do I look for a podium finish? This is the conundrum that she will face. Is it, or has she got nothing to lose? Because whatever, it's been an amazing performance to get here. So, the 4th rider on her way. Yoli is now beginning her round. That's the shortest turn, asking the question into the second. Coming to the 3rd fence, which has changed the upright. Now into the double. She looks like she's quite quick at the moment. This could be good. She can. This is the bogey fence and the jump off. Here comes Yoli Miller to it, and is over. Now, can she keep going? She has a real chance here. Into that short. Now, what's she do here? She's got a real chance. Can she kick on? This could be a landmark moment for the lady from Prix. Oh my word! Thank you very much. 30.
Wow, what a fantastic round from Yoli then. She said to me before the jump off that she's never that quick and she wanted to be a bit braver. And there's just Hannah, come here quickly. This is Yoli's mum, Hannah. I've got goosebumps. How are you feeling?
Exactly the same. I'm so excited. I mean, I just feel she deserves it so much because she's oh, she works so hard and she's amazing.
See the emotion. She said to me before the jump off that she needs to push a bit more and have some more confidence. Wow.
It came up at the right time.
It really did. Listen, go and celebrate with her. She's just come out the ring. Well done. That is Yoli. How fantastic was that? What a brilliant round. Tough, confident and faultless.
There's a sense of disbelief, but there's a sense of steely determination from that. Wow. Well, Peter Devos now knows what he's got to do, because actually that was so smooth right from the start. No let up. So Peter Devos coming forward on casual DVZ, but he knows he can't be casual in this jump off. He's got to go from it right from the start. This 10-year-old, an exciting prospect. Again, a big moment for the 39-year-old. We promised fireworks in this Longines Global Champions Tour Grand Prix in Madrid, and love to see the emergence of young riders, and maybe we're going to see one here. But Peter Devos, he's been round the block, he knows what he needs to do. Taking a short turn here. Rattles it, but it's kind to him. Takes that on a good angle, cutting back now. Shorter cut back than some of the others. Rattles the first part, through the second. Just maybe a little slower. Can he make up the time to this fence over it? Looks a little down. Now trying to put the afterburners in, and he's going wide. I don't think he's going to do it. No, he's not, because he's coming to the final fence. And Peter Devos has put in a good round, but not a quick enough round, and currently goes into third on 30.
Peter Devos arguably getting onto the podium with a 36.40. Of course, Christian Kukuk and Marco Kutscher still to come. But that 36.40 was kind of the time we expected to be the predictable. Where does a Yoli 34 come from here?
I think that's going to take some beating, definitely, Mark. I think this jump-off suited her. She's a very good rider. She got everything. I don't think she could have done much more.
And surprisingly, she claims she's not a very fast rider. She claims that her horse is not very quick. You talk about suiting. This is not really riding like it walked, is it?
No, I think not very many horses can do the 6 from 2 to 3, and then the 7 after the double are proving to be quite long. She got both of them easy, and everything was smooth. So I think that's going to take some beating.
So it leaves us with Christian Kukuk and a somewhat untested Chipano, and Marco Kutscher and Aventador.
Yeah.
Is there a double clear sub 34 here?
I doubt it. If anyone can do it, it's Christian. That horse is very, very quick. He doesn't have to do the leave-outs that Yoli did to beat her or to be close to that time, but we'll see.
All right, as it stands, Christian Kukuk and Marco Kutscher are the only two riders left in the jump-off. Yoli Maitlineo leads on a double clear with a time of 34 flat. Christian Kukuk is the 2024 champion of Madrid. He has been here before. He has won here before. He knows what it takes to be successful in Madrid. He now enters the ring. Let's go and watch the round of Christian Kukuk and Chipano.
Here's Christian Kukuk coming into the arena. Now, he knows he's got something to think about here. It may have been, it was a golden year from the moment he won here last year on his horse Checker. We heard in the interview how he was saying that this was a big chance for this horse, Stefano Balubé, to prove what he's got at this level. So, here comes him now. The crowd hush, sense of anticipation around this fabulous arena. Here he goes. You know he won't be hanging around, and he's not right from the start. Can he get inside the 34? It's a good-looking beginning to the round with his 11-year-old. Time just slightly down. Over the next. He's a bit further down, but he's clear. Oh, not anymore. Oh, and he's actually sent out the side door. That fence has done for Ken Farrington, Christian Cook and Cian O'Connor. Well, a really surprise thing. You just wouldn't have expected that. Hope he's all right. Looks a little gingerly to his feet. Horse went one way, he went the other way, but...
Wow, bit of an incident there. Christian Cook coming out of his saddle. He's up and he's walking, and there's a round of applause from those in attendance here. Chipano looks fine and has been walked out the ring. So we will try and see if we can just get an update of Christian Cook. Seems to have taken a bit of a heavy fall with a bit of a limp, but he does seem to be okay, which is good news. Wow, even minus the fall. Before we get there, added a stride, put in 8s on the line we've been talking about. That looked as if it wasn't going to break a 34 anyway, Carlos.
I don't think it was. I think he could have done the 7 there. He got there a little bit deep in the 8, and thank God he's okay. I think you can never count Marco out, but he's going to have to do something special here.
So if we call Yoli's round the perfect round for now, on one of these fences, where is he meant to shave that time off?
I think this is a similar strided horse, so he could do a very similar jump off to Yoli, but it's going to take some beating. I'm not sure it's possible, but all right, you can never count him out. So
staring down the barrel of a potential Longines Global Champions Tour Grand Prix win for Yoli Mitlineo. A sub 34 is needed from Marco Kutscher. On Aventador, a double clear inside 34 seconds wins him the title. Waiting in the wings is Yoli Mitlineo. Potential win on the LGCT Grand Prix Tour here. Let's go and join the final jump-off contender, Marco Kutscher.
Marco Kutscher looking to get back to the winner's rostrum on top again. Is he going to go for it? It's a sharp turn. Doesn't look too aggressive at this stage, but you never know. He just might be looking to ease into this rut. And don't think at the moment he's going to do it if he keeps up this pace. Coming now to the bogey fence. And he's jumped it. Can he keep it going? It's going to be tight. Here we go. Now, 34 seconds to beat. Spot on. I don't think he's going to do it. Coming to the final fence. Is he going to do it? No! What a surprise winner here in Madrid. But a big moment. Marco Kutscher couldn't match the time of the 27-year-old Greek, Yoli Mitlineo, who's had the biggest win of her career. Magical, beating a star-studded jump-off field that included the Longines world #1. But it is Yoli Mitlineo surprising everyone. But my goodness me, thoroughly deserving that success. As cool as you like through the jump-off. But Marco Kutscher couldn't find the key to get inside her time. He may have finished second with a time of 35.98, but it just shows you the brilliance of that clear round from Yoli Mitlineo. Ken Farrington was first to go. He had 2 down. He was quick. And look at the joy on her face. A special moment, a special win for her and her team, her family, so committed to the sport. And here she has, winning the Longines Global Champions Tour Grand Prix in Madrid. What a moment, and not just beating people, such experienced people she has beaten. Marco Kutscher.
What a performance from Joli Metlineo. What a night for the youngster to go on and be victorious here in Madrid. A Longines Global Champions Tour Grand Prix win. And I have a funny story to tell when she gets here into the studio. But as it stands now, La Artiste and Joli Metlineo are the champions of Madrid. Under the beautiful sun here in the Spanish capital, she was better than Christian Kuckuck, Marco Kutscher, Peter de Vos, Cian O'Connor, Hans-Dieter Dreyer, and even the world #1, Kent Farrington. No one could beat Joli Metlineo. She was the rider to beat. Hans-Dieter Dreyer finishing in 3rd place on Elysium with a clear in 36.12. Only 4 out of the 7 jumping double clear. Cian O'Connor, Ken Farrington, and unfortunately Christian Kuckuck eliminated after coming out of the saddle with Chipano. He did look okay, had a heavy fall, but did seem to limp off. Hopefully we'll get an update that he is okay. Chipano seemed fine as well, which is good news there. But the story of the day is Joli Metlineo being crowned champion of Madrid. In fact, I just saw her walk over my shoulder, being guided into the ring. She will do some interviews. We will then bring her into the ring, and then there will be the official podium celebrations where we will see the top 3 riders, Marco Kutscher and Hans-Dieter Dreyer, joining Joli onto the podium and go on and receive their trophies, receive their Longines timepiece, and receive some champagne as well, which will be a wonderful way to celebrate here in Madrid. I wonder if Joli had to reschedule some flights now after this. We will find out. Here is a look at the round of Joli Metlineo. She was the 4th to come out after Ken Farrington, Hans-Dieter Dreyer, and Cian O'Connor. At the time, Hans-Dieter Dreyer was the leader with a clear in a time of 36.12. After Joli came in and jumped a clear in 34 seconds, shaving a huge amount of time off the round of Hans-Dieter Dreyer. Peter de Vos, Christian Kuckuck, and Marco Kutscher all followed, and none of them could jump a double clear inside the time of 34 seconds. And because of that, Joli Metlineo goes on to win in Madrid. I'm very excited to have her in the studio. She had a great weekend in the Global Champions League with a clear, and take a look at what it means for her team. Take a look what it means for those in the kiss and cry. We also heard from her mom just shortly after. Her mom, by the way, who travels with her consistently on this tour, is always in and around the stages of the Longines Global Champions Tour, supporting her daughter wherever she is riding, says how hard she has worked for this moment and what it will mean for her to go on and win this moment. Maybe we try and grab her mom and have a chat with her as well. We will hear from Joli and hear from 2nd and 3rd in a few minutes time. Let's show you then the head-to-head between Marco Kutscher and Joli Metlineo.
Perhaps just has got an early advantage.
Marco
as they
Kutscher
come to the
Metlineo on the left, and here's what you can see already. Joli 1 stride ahead of Marco Kutscher in that time. Kutscher eventually stopping the time at 35.98, and there again beating him to the punch. Consistently ahead on La Artiste. There, 3 or 4 strides in front of Marco Kutscher. And from here, she just needed to keep it calm, keep her head of the game, keep La Artiste focused. And you can see there, finishing by a country mile in the world of show jumping, miles ahead, unfortunately, for Marco Kutscher and Aventador, who will now finish in 2nd place, ahead of Hans-Dieter Dreyer, and Peter de Vos missing out on a podium in 4th place. What a jump off, folks. What a jump off as we see Joli go on to win. Thank you very much to Carlos Hencarrero, giving us some insight, giving us some thoughts as to where the riders were able to go and pick up those victories, where they were able to shave off some time. And now, as I try and open up ever so slightly, you'll be noticing that they'll be building that podium right over here to the side of us, inside the stadium, where they will announce the top 3 and bring them into the ring. There's also a wonderful view of how many people have joined us outside the ring here. Hundreds of folks on that grass embankment, all trying to get as close to the ring as possible, all trying their best to get a bird's eye view of this winner. What a remarkable venue here in Madrid. So, ladies and gentlemen, as we get ready to talk about Ioli Mytilineos, we have a moment to enjoy and talk about this wonderful ring that has been built by Santiago Varela here over this weekend in Madrid. Santi, welcome to the studio. How proud are you of this wonderful ring that you have built this weekend?
First of all, thank you to invite me to the studio, and I am really proud. Always for me this arena is very special because it was my first international show in my life, and after 40 years building as assistant or as course designer, for me it's still been a super special day. You know, the Madrid Grand Prix is always very, very special for me, and I think today it was a super Grand Prix. I think it was super technical Grand Prix, big, but fair for horses. Very complicated for the riders. They need to think what horse they are riding today. And I think the result, it was fantastic. And Ioli made a super amazing jump off. But first of all, the 7 that made the clear round, it was absolutely unbelievable. But the jump off, she made a unbelievable jump off.
Santi, how do you balance challenging? Because you're right, you must challenge the riders. They're the best in the world. How do you challenge the best in the world, but you try and give the fans what they want, which is clear rounds?
You need to think, first of all, on the horses. And when you think on the horses, you are in the correct side. And if you are in the right side, normally things happen in the right way. But, you know, also you need to be lucky. You know?
Yeah.
And today I think it was good. And there are a lot of 4 points. That is, and the people that make more than 4, even in that cases, the horses didn't suffer, no? And this is really nice. The horses jump very well. The arena was fantastic today, and I think that the horses jump very well, and the riders did a great job, and I am very proud for that.
Can we talk about this line over here? At one stage, we thought maybe it might be a very big 6. No. Then 7 looked normal. We saw 1 or 2 8s as well. What was your planning behind this line over here?
In the double?
Yeah.
The plan is the right one. I believe it was 5 long, 7 normal, and 4 long.
Okay.
This is the right. The original plan was this one.
I like how you talk about the horses being the priority, and you are very correct, because the fans want clears, the riders want clears, but you put the horses first, number 1 always, correct?
Always. This is always that I told with the people, and when we did the seminars, for us, the horses is our friend, is our brother. The horses are first of all, because without the horses, this sport will not exist. That means that we have care on the horses. The first thing is all course designers in the world are the horses. For us, it's the most important. After the riders are, one day they have better day or not, but the horses for us are our priority.
Yeah, Santi, this is fantastico. Yeah. Gracias por todos. We appreciate you.
Thank you very much.
Well done on a wonderful course. We now go and join the podium celebration. All right.
Thank you very much.
There we are. Santiago Varela joins us in the studio, and we will go through to the podium celebration in a few moments' time. The top 3 riders from Madrid, Marco Kutscher, Hans-Dieter Dreyer, and as we said, your champion of Madrid, Ioli Mytilineos, make their way out into the ring. Let's go join the podium celebration.
Take some doing. They're hard fought, and when you've beaten the quality of Marco Kutscher and Hans-Dieter Dreyer, then this is a very special moment for her, and she can reflect on a brilliant job done here in Madrid as they get ready for the presentation, bringing her horse forward. Gets off to come onto the podium.
de este Gran Premio de Madrid. Empezando por el tercer clasificado. Ha sido líder durante unos minutos, ha estado a puntito de lograr su segunda victoria en la competición. Gran prueba la suya. Gran aplauso, por favor, para Hans-Dieter Dreher.
The man who's been in the vanguard of German show jumping for such a long time with his
now to the arena is
Hans-Dieter Dreher.
Coming in, Hans-Dieter Dreher. Lovely to see him. He's had a great weekend because he was part of the winning team on the Global Champions League. So a third spot here. And lovely to see Marco Kutscher back onto the podium again. But he just couldn't find a way to get past the winner, but still, but here is the winner being announced onto the podium.
Global Champions Tour, su primer Gran Premio 5 estrellas, día inolvidable para ella, ovación inolvidable para ella, Joli Mytilineau.
And Joli Mytilineau comes up onto the podium. She will be loving every minute of this. And her two rivals in their 50s, but the young gun has won it. Now it's time for the Greek national anthem, and it will ring round this famous arena that has seen many special sporting moments.
Primera vez que suena el himno nacional de Grecia en honor de un ganador de un gran premio Longines Global Champions Tour. Ha sucedido aquí en Madrid y ahora vamos ya a proceder a la entrega de premios, empezando por el tercer clasificado. Jan Tops, presidente y fundador de Longines Global Champions Tour, va a entregar el trofeo al tercer clasificado, el alemán Hans-Dieter Dreher.
Global Champions Tour, presenting the third prize. But I think he'll be so pleased that he's been able to shake the hand of the winner, because vindicating what he's been trying to do in the Longines Global Champions Tour is give opportunities for second. Next up, from the president of the Federation of the Spanish Horse Federation, we have Javier Ruvelta coming forward to present the prize to Marco Kutscher.
President of the Royal Spanish Federation for Equestrian Sport.
And then in big moment, nice to see Marco Kutscher back on the podium. And the Longines watch will be presented now with Elena Orozco, the brand manager for Longines in Spain, and presenting her first Longines watch. And I'm sure she will treasure this, because this is a big moment.
Brand manager Longines Spain making this presentation to our winner, Ioli.
So Ioli now receives that watch.
El trofeo, ese precioso trofeo que va a recibir a continuación como ganadora del Gran Premio de Madrid.
The Gran Premio de Madrid now going to be presented, a lovely trophy.
El alcalde de Madrid, don José Luis Martínez Almeida, se dirige al podio para entregar ese trofeo como ganadora del Gran Premio de Madrid a Joli Mytilineau.
Longines Global Champions Tour Grand Prix.
14th International of Madrid and the Grand Prix of Madrid itself. We're honoured to have the Mayor of Madrid.
It's a big trophy, but it's going to be lifted with great pride, receiving from Jose Luis Martinez and the Mayor of Madrid. What a moment.
Con esa gran copa, con ese gran trofeo que ha ganado aquí en Madrid. Ya hemos
winning her first Longines Global Champions Tour Grand Prix. I think it's her first one. She's been keeping on the tour, but to do this will feel really good. But now she's getting that champagne feeling. And
Más segura a caballo que pie a tierra, Yoli Mitilenu. No se cae a caballo.
Something she might need to learn a bit more how to deal with the champagne, but her two rivals being a little bit, well, they've got but they've decided that a little gentlemanly discretion as poor old Yoli was unable to get her bottle of champagne open, but she will treasure this moment, and I'm sure she will enjoy that little bit of champagne.
Let's get these three riders back with their horses.
So
with these two legends of the sport, Marco Kucher, Hans-Dieter Dreher.
Here we go. There we go. Just a little glimpse of those three. They will remember this. But such a big day for our winner here, Yoli Mitilene, as they go back to their horses for the Roll of Honor. What a contest! What a Grand Prix! And you can see what it means to the second and third. They're happy to be on the podium. Marco Kucher and Hans-Dieter Dreher. But ultimately, the youngest rider to get through to that jump off has shown them all a keen pair of heels. It's a big moment. Still probably not quite sure what's happened for Yoli Mitilene, but she can savour every second of this lap of honour. It's Yoli Mitilene coming round. Well done to her, treasuring this moment. What a great performance from our horse as well. They got and a magnificent Grand Prix. On the face of it, a surprise winner. But there was nothing surprising about the manner of her victory. Thoroughly deserved, because she proved the cream of the crop, beating some of the best riders in the world, including the world #1, Ken Farrington, who struggled in the jump-off. But it's Yoli Mitilene being acclaimed by the crowd here as our winner of the Longines Global Champions Tour Grand Prix 2025.
The walk of a champion, the walk of your 2025 Madrid Longines Global Champions Tour champion. Ladies and gentlemen, Yoli Mitilene, that camera is going to stay with her until she makes her way all the way back up into the studio, all the way back up to this very spot next to us, but only after some more champagne is enjoyed by her groom and by her team. We will hear from Rosie Turner again shortly, who will once again get some reaction, this time from third place finisher and Hans-Dieter Dreher, second place finisher in Marco Kucher. And we will take Yoli Mitilene all to ourselves. Floss Jones from Global Champions, walking her up, being heavily watched. Yoli into the studio. Max from Iron Dames guiding her up the stairs. That's our studio right above her. That is the Riders' Tribune that she walks through. She's going to work her way through the crowd here to our left. And then we're going to continue watching her make her way up the stairs into the studio, and then have a conversation with us after Her first ever 5-star win. Her first ever Longines Global Champions Tour Grand Prix win. She came close in A Coruña last year, and now she has gone one step better, one step further, and is now a champion on the Longines Global Champions Tour. A woman that describes herself not as very quick and describes her horse as not as very quick, has gone on to beat everybody. Ken Farrington, Christian Kukuk, Kian O'Connor, Peter de Vos, Hans-Dieter Dreyer, and Marco Kutscher, all of them trying their best, yet no one was better than this lady right here, as Yoli Milineo joins us in the studio. I have a wonderful story that I want to try and bring up as we get ready. No, it's not bad at all. To show you the belief that show jumpers have in themselves, and to show you how mean and horrible and terrible TV presenters are. We were talking earlier this week, and I asked you when I would see you again. I think you said Paris. Is that correct?
Yeah.
And I said, Yoli, great, I'll see you in Paris. And you said to me, why won't I see you at the end of the Grand Prix on Sunday? And I said, oh, yeah, ditto, I probably should. Yeah, I'll leave the door open for you. Yoli Mitlineo, here you stand with me with a first ever 5-star win, a first ever LGCT Grand Prix win. How on earth are you feeling?
Oh, I don't even know, to be honest. Like, I can't believe it. I really, really can't believe it. Like, I've only just started pushing the limits in the jump off, so for it to pay off so soon is wild. I mean, people wait years to win a Grand Prix.
Of course. All weekend long, in fact, you've been telling us that you are not incredibly quick. Your horse is not incredibly quick. No. But the performance that you gave, the strides that you took out, the time that you set, all of that tells me otherwise. So how did that happen? Where did that come from?
Yeah, well, I think what it is that when you don't believe that you're something, then you just might as well give it your all. Do you know what I mean? Like when you haven't got expectations, you just go in and do what you can. I mean, for me, there was no point to go in there and just try and be a nice clear. You know, I'd rather have had the one down and been the fastest one down. And
when given that opportunity, finishing third is not a question.
Exactly. So I thought I'll just risk it all and hopefully be on the podium. And I didn't think I'd be first, but I would have been happy with the podium. So to win is yeah, I mean, it's just incredible.
This little fence over here that looked to either be a 7, some try to add a stride and make it 8. A 6 looked really risky. What was your approach over here?
Was that to the Oxer after the doubles?
Coming out of the doubles.
So I didn't realise people did 8.
Yeah, some did. You didn't even feel the need to.
No, I came out and Caroline Paul said to me like, oh, yeah, you did 6 and 7, right? Yeah. And I was like, well, yeah, what did everyone else do?
Did that just
no, they did 7 and 8.
Did it not feel like a risk to go there?
No, not at all. Not at all. Like, okay, he's got such a big stride.
Is that Bautist's just ability to make it seem so smooth?
Yeah, he's got such a big step that honestly to add an extra stride bothers him way more than to leave out. I mean, the first round I did 5 to the last and I could have done 4. Like, he's so easy to move forward, and because he's careful, I can trust that he's going to come off the front rail well. So, yeah, for me, it was 6 and 7 every day.
Is it more ridiculous as to how easily you won this? And by easily, I'm talking time now, because in this sport, milliseconds is massive. You shaved off almost over 1.5 seconds. We're almost talking 2 seconds in the world of show jumping. It's an enormity. It makes it look very casual. Are you surprised that not only did you win, but in fact, number 2 was miles behind you?
Yeah, shocked.
Joking about making it 4 or 5. There was no need. Yeah. That's the point I'm making. It just felt so casual.
Yeah. To be honest, you know, I said to my groom, Danny, like, I just go in and try to be as smooth, because I think the smoother you can be, the faster you'll be. If you kind of pulling and kicking, you're always going to be slow. So I thought I'm just going to pick up a rhythm and see what I get at each fence. And it's a little bit what I did in the first round as well. And okay, it wasn't for time, but it worked out with the rail staying up. So yeah, I mean, I'm really, really trying to get quick, and to win is a huge confidence boost, because, you know, now I can have faith in the fact that I can be quick, and I don't need to push as much anymore. I can use my natural rhythm and hopefully be fast enough.
What an ominous sign to those around you that if you do not think you are quick yet, that rhythm shaves so much time off. Have you had a chance to talk to your mom?
My mum, of course.
I know. I want to make sure that conversation was had. I don't know how wild things got back there.
Yeah, she was even in the ring.
What is the message from your mom?
Yeah, she's so happy. I mean, I can imagine she'll probably cry. Like, I'd say she's received 1 million texts. Like, she's one of my biggest supporters. So.
Did you have some messages for her? Because I'm sure, like you were about to say, she's been with you down this entire journey, hasn't she?
Yeah. She's been since day one. You know, so. for Mum. I mean, I can't thank her more for what she's done for me and all the support that she's had and the belief that she's had in me, put it that way. You know, she's at most shows with me, and yes, she loves it just as much as I do, so I think that's really important, and to have somebody like that on your side is always amazing.
Have you even given it a thought that you're going to be jumping in a Super Grand Prix in Prague later this year?
I actually have given it a thought.
Tell me about that.
Yeah, I mean, it's a very different venue, obviously, small indoor, but now that we know that we're in, we're going to make a really good plan to try and get there. I've got a couple horses that I think could suit. So, yeah, we're going to hopefully be in this same position in Prague.
Since I didn't give you the belief the first time around, I will put it on camera right now. I will leave the door open for you in Prague, and I will make sure that for that LGCT Super Grand Prix that there is a spot right here. Sum up for me how you're feeling right now at the end of the day. Dust is trying to settle, emotions are hopefully settling down. Take a breath and tell me what is going through your mind right now.
Yeah, I mean, apart from the fact that I stink of champagne.
It could not smell any better. I would not want to be sprayed with anything else than a wonderful bottle of champagne in Madrid after a Grand Prix.
Yeah, fair, me neither. But yeah, it's so hard to know. You know, everybody always says it, that they're speechless, but it's true. Yeah. Like, you really don't have anything to say. Like, a first 5-star win, the last time I won a Grand Prix was in 2021, and that was a 3-star. You know, I'm not a winner. I've not won much, so to win this is yeah, today, and hopefully it continues. So
today, you are the biggest winner here today, and I have a feeling that after this performance, you talk about the belief. I think that what this shows to those around you, what it shows to yourself, is that this is very much possible on a far more regular scale. So congratulations on an incredible, incredible victory today. Yoli Mitlineo discovering that she can indeed be the best, and right here in Madrid, going on to win her first 5-star victory, her first LGCT Grand Prix win here in Madrid in 2025. This is what the now overall rankings look like at the end of Madrid, and the impact of today's Grand Prix and what it means on those standings. As Gilles Thomas now moves into second place and overtakes Edwina Tops-Alexander. Dennis Lynch comes up to third. Abdel Said making up points, the winner in Doha earlier on this year. Scott Brash, winner in Shanghai, drops down to 6th, while Marcus Eining, Hans-Dieter Dreyer move up, and Jean Sadran now enters into the top 10 as well. Ladies and gentlemen, that is a wrap of Madrid. It has been an outstanding week here of the Longines Global Champions Tour action. We have not a very long time. In fact, I think it's barely 2 weeks until we see you once again here. You will join us in the south of France. You will join us on the Côte d'Azur, and we will see you for the next stage of the Longines Global Champions Tour. That will be live in Cannes. Adios.
Cannes, where the glamour of the French Riviera meets the thrill of world-class show jumping. A city of style, icons, and timeless elegance. But as the sun sets, the stakes rise. Under the floodlights, the arena ignites. In this city of stars, only the bold will shine. Experience the Longines Global Champions Tour of Cannes from June 5th to the 7th.